difficult for me anyway for studying for interviews is that I have almost zero inherent motivation to study for it because it's a complete Ponzi scheme. And it's like, well, let me get better at interviewing so that I can get better at interviewing. And none of those skills really translate to um, your ability to perform when you're actually on the job, right? So, for example, a lot of the skills that you get from these sort of spatial thinking isn't really, I wouldn't say it's not required, but it's certainly not necessary because it's like, well, when are you going to have to reverse a tree or find the max depth of the tree or whatever, right? Most of the time, like libraries and things of that nature are just going to show you like exactly what you need. And the real skill really comes in knowing how to read. And like if you know how to read documentation and, test things out, then that's really most of the skills that you need, right? Like a lot of times documentation is missing, and the real experience, real skill is asking the right questions to the right person to get clarification when those things are missing, and or experimenting and testing yourself to be able to get the right answer without anybody helping you. This is why I don't really like interviews, because like at interviews it's such a short sample size of what a person can do, and then it's like, well, if your interviewer, like if you make a small syntax error that you would have caught anyway, and then your interviewer immediately gives you the tip or the hint that says, oh yeah, you meant to do this, right? Then, good game, you already lost some points, right? Whereas in the real world, you might have actually recovered from it. And a lot of the skills in the actual world is this kind of putting the different pieces together, looking at the ecosystem, and then building something that you can put together. And what comes with experience is actually architecting something that's very maintainable. And I would argue that creating something that's very, one, easily understandable, and two, something that's very maintainable, meaning if there's any errors or bugs, it's actually a fairly easy change, meaning you want to make something maintainable by mostly making your code not over-engineered and optimized, because if it's like super duper over-engineered and optimized where the performance metrics don't actually call for that optimization, then some other engineer or you yourself has to go back when you debug, and things are just going to be very, very hard to fix. Like something that would have taken like 5 minutes to fix if you had architected it correctly might take like 5 hours because you wanted to do some real special cool technology or some really weird syntax that nobody, including yourself, can't understand, right? So being able to engineer something that's very maintainable and you can just go back and fix is highly crucial, and much more crucial than, in my opinion, being able to answer some contrived puzzle that the interviewer just wanted to, magically you to solve and perhaps memorize ahead of time. It is kind of like a Ponzi scheme, right? But that said, the inherent value of studying for interviews is, of course, you can switch jobs and get more money that way, but none of the skills you learn here will actually make you a productive member of society, which is why it's like kind of frustrating. And then with that said, I'm going to be a hypocrite and then start studying. All right. Here it says reverse vowels. Given a string, reverse only all the vowels and return it. So EEOC, EEOE, and then EEOE. And then so, yeah, okay. That's the best way to do it. This is 30,000. 300,000 in length. So what we could do is probably have a vowel buffer as nothing, and then you could probably, if char, yeah, maybe I can do something like this. It's a little bit easier for vowels equals A, E, I, O, U, and then this will prevent, this is kind of maintainability things, is like set of vowels, Okay, so and then this just basically says, okay, look it up. If the char is in vowels, which means that the char is vowels, then vowel dot underscore buffer. How do I want to do this? If I memorize all the vowels, or do I even need memory? Because if I say I have a left pointer and a right pointer, and then the left pointer just waits for the right pointer to point to a vowel, and then I swap them. Maybe I just do that instead. It's a little less memory. Pointer is less than right pointer, so if left pointer equals right pointer, even if it's a vowel, there's nothing really to swap. Let's see if this works. Okay, so all right. Do you have to buy a vowel? I'm just trying to think about Wheel of Fortune, but anyway, I don't know where these two things come in, but I'll sketch it out for now. And you know, if S of left pointer is in vowels, then wait for the right vowel to also wait for the then swap them. So temp is like this, for example, and then I can now safely overwrite this with the right pointer, and then the S right pointer is gonna be the temp. But if it's not in the vowels, so the left pointer is in vowels and the right pointer is in vowels, then I want to do right pointer like that. Does the left pointer so keep going until you find a vowel, and then now if, and I need the else explicitly because I don't want the right pointer. Yeah, it's just a little cleaner. So if the S right pointer is vowels and we do the swap, we've already swapped it, so why don't we just do left pointer? I was wondering if I only needed to one of these, or if I have to do both of these. And so if I swapped it, I don't really want the left or right pointer to be pointing to these anymore. And the reason behind it is because if, you know, right pointer goes here, I don't want to accidentally overwrite something that I've already done. So I kind of want to save my forward progress and ensure I don't overwrite it by updating these pointers. And then this is complete. And here's the other thing in my interviews I hate. Like normally I just run it, just see it and iterate on it. But then, you know, like obviously mistakes are like, oh, you're careless in an interview. But perhaps thinking through every single thing every single time you do it might not be the most optimal way if you were to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyway. Okay, so one thing is, so what if the left pointer isn't involved? Sorry, I do want to go ahead actually, right? in this case, if I were to just run the script, we get stuck forever because the left pointer won't iterate. So I also don't want to have like this, write this twice and have it be symmetric if I don't want to, like if it doesn't have to be. So in this case, let's say left pointer is not in vowels. We go to E, and then it will be in vowels, and then we find out, oh yeah, this is also in vowels, so why don't we do a swap, and then we do this. And then neither of these are in the vowels, and then left pointer equals 1 to still break out of it. And then return S, basically. Well, what about this case? If it's not a vowel, it'll advance until the first vowel, which is E, and then it'll find that it's E, it'll do the swap. After it does the swap, it'll go to D, and then this one, and then it'll find that this is a vowel, but then the right one isn't in the vowel, so right pointer minus equals 1 to get closer to the left pointer. I guess another way one could refactor this is instead of if else, like you do something here and then you continue, and then outside it, then yeah. I actually prefer continue, but I already wrote this, so I'm not gonna change it. Right, so going on, right, and then the right pointer equals -1, then the left pointer hasn't changed, and then they're both in the vowels, and then temp is gonna be this guy, left will be O, and then the right will be the temp, which is E, and then we go here and here, and then next iteration we find out neither are in the vowels, and then the left will increment 1, and then this. Okay, so maybe let's run code. Really? Alright, well, thought it did. String does not support item assignment. But I thought, really? Then that kind of ruins the whole thing, doesn't it? Okay. Okay, strings are immutable. All right, that's great. So let's just kill this. So what I was gonna do instead of in place, I was gonna do loop through the entire string and no. It's not that much memory, 30,000, I mean, so. So the algorithm's the same, and then instead of returning this, I would need to cast this in a string. So I believe it's like is it, yeah, so perhaps I can run that and see what breaks next. What if there's one, no vowels, and then also what if it's an empty string, and then what if they're all vowels? These are the corner cases that I would test, but got 0. Oh, I see. So there isn't even that concern. I mean, it should just return the same. And I'm just going to try submit this. Oh, okay. Left is 0, so they're both in, oh, because I don't consider these are vowels. I think in JavaScript and stuff you can do like dot to lowercase. I'm not sure what it is in Python, so I'll just do this. Yeah, okay. So, all right, I'm gonna end this here because it's mostly a rant, and then I'll just upload another video.